What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Rev Room. Today we got a cheap airline hose. Alright, how's everyone doing? Today we got this air hose. So it's from Amazon. It's a Yotoo, Y-O-T-O-O airline hose. 3/8. It's a 25 foot in length, 300 psi rating. Why am I reviewing this? Not so much going to be a review, as I have not used this particular one yet. However, just wanted to get into this hose, describe a little bit about it, and then why obviously I'm replacing it. So I got sick of buying like the higher end hoses, and you know, they do deteriorate over time. I primarily use them outside, obviously with an air compressor. And, you know, $100, $150, it just, I mean, really $80 to $120 range, it just got to be too much. So I went with a Harbor Freight. I believe it was the Merlin brand that I've been using for the past couple of years. And finally that one took a dump on me. Just cracked mid-hose, it was dry rotted. Probably got maybe 5 to 6 years of use out of it. That particular hose was, I believe it was $20 or $25 for the 3/8 inch size, 25 foot. If you go on Harbor Freight, you can check out all of them. Not paid or sponsored. So yeah, this hose, looking on Amazon, and I actually came across this one. So we have the listing here for it if you guys want to check it out. So first things first, it's a 25 foot air hose. The original price is $25.99. Did not pay that. They had a bunch of coupon codes and sale and yada yada yada. Right now it just has a 10% off coupon, so $25.99 and then 10% off of that. I paid $13.60 for this version of it, again with all the sales and discounts and everything. So basically I was just looking for if there was possible to get a cheaper version with the same more or less quality as the Harbor Freight ones. Basically trying to just be cheap about it and not invest a lot of money into an air hose that I don't really use as much anymore, but still need one from time to time. So it's like, just gonna get a cheap one. So instead of paying $25 for the Harbor Freight one, again the Merlin brand, or they always rotate their brands out, so you're never gonna really get the same one, but they do still have the Merlin brand at Harbor Freight. So $25 for that. It was like 50 foot, and then they have that's for like just the regular rubber hose, and then they have the rubber and PVC mix. So basically that's the outside of this hose, and that's the material used for this rubberized coating on it. Now, why is that important? So basically, the rubber will dry rot on its own. You could usually tell because the rubber will have usually like a white powdery residue on it of some sort, or be like whitish in nature. Those are just regular rubber hoses. They tend to dry out a lot faster than the rubber and PVC mixture for the hose. So the one I got at Harbor Freight was the rubber and PVC. So that one was $25. And then this one, again, is $25.99 regular price. So I was able to nail this for, again, $13.60. So I figured, why not give it a shot, see how long this one holds up to. It's basically the exact same quality. It's exact same hose. It's just the one I had was black. This one is the red color. On camera, with studio lighting, it looks significantly more red than what it is. It's more like a pinkish, like burgundy in person. So yeah, so this red that you're seeing is much brighter than what it looks like to your eye. In-depth review of airline hoses, right? Absolutely ridiculous, but this is what I do. Brass hardware on here, the brass fittings. This side, the male side of it, is pretty much all the same. They do they will or they do wear out over time, but you can actually just change it out. You just slide the rubber connector down and just change this out if you need to. The hose will work. The male side, or the female side of it, does seem a little cheaper than the Harbor Freight one. The ball bearings inside of here are a little more janky, for lack of a better word. The tolerances on them are not as good, but the Harbor Freight one's not like significantly better, so it doesn't really matter. They both have the same PSI rating, so that doesn't matter, and they both are made of the same material for what I got. So if you are in the market for purchasing, at least keep that in mind when you're purchasing. Don't always just go to the cheapest price. In this particular situation, it worked out in my favor where I got the rubber and the PVC mixture, and it was the cheapest one that I could find. So again, it worked out for me. Just keep that in mind when you're buying these. Try and get at least the rubber PVC mixture. The higher end hoses will have the rubber PVC as standard, and that would be like their cheaper line, and they're still like $40 to $50 range for the 25-foot length. So you're spending the $80 to $150 range for obviously the longer length and better hardware. So the fittings themselves are going to be substantially better on the higher end hoses, if they even come with fittings. Sometimes the higher end you go, the less you get. You're paying more money for the inner wrap of the hose, and then the external is still going to be the rubber and PVC external layer, but they will also have a higher PSI rating. So again, there's a balance between everything. If you don't really need the higher PSI, you don't have to spend the money and get a more name brand. It's not even so much the name brand, it's just the strength of the wire. So the strength of the wire, the strength of the hose itself, the PSI rating is the most important factor in choosing a hose. Don't buy a 300 PSI hose like this one if you're going to be hooking it up to 1000 PSI plus things. This is going to be strictly for, air tools and, filling up your car tires, things of those nature. You'll get away perfectly fine with this. So, the average homeowner, even shops buy these, because if you've ever worked in a car shop, these things get run over, thrown around, tossed around, broken daily. They don't usually tend to buy super high-end lines unless they're hanging from the ceiling and they're not dragging over the floor all day long. So, so basically that's the basic version or the basic idea of how to purchase these and what to look for when you are going to buy them. If you're going to replace your old setup or just get something new altogether. Generally they come with 1/4-inch line when you get them free in a compressor kit if you buy a tank and all that stuff. So this is a little bit of an upgrade based on the PSI rating and the size of the hose. 3/8 is going to be significantly better for air tools and stuff like that than the 1/4-inch one will. So again, there's a lot of factors in here, and I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of questions and a ton of comments down below on this. If you guys do have questions, comment. If you guys have your feedback, if you will, you're going to put it down there, and you're going to crucify me on how I narrowed this down and just kind of dumbed this down for the average person to consume. So if you guys want a more in-depth video specifically on this, I could do that, but just wanted to give you a basic idea of how to purchase these, showcase this particular brand, why I went with it, the whole 9 yards. So once again, not paid or sponsored by Harbor Freight or Amazon or Yo2 or anybody else for that matter. That's all we got. Thank you guys for watching. Again, comment down below if you have any questions, and take care.